Party, and she joins us now. Congresswoman, so great to have you on. What a troubling story. I mean, what do you think is happening here? Because apparently this is a Chinese citizen, a fugitive with links to the military in a secret lab with all these deadly pathogens.
Right, Rachel. It reads like a movie script and a horror movie script. That when you detail all of those things that were missed. And I think the most troubling thing is you mentioned the fact that he was able to obtain these pathogens. We want to know how he was able to obtain these pathogens. How was he able to get away with running a lab, getting millions of dollars sent to him from the Chinese Communist Party, and then obviously coming into our country, stealing American intellectual property. This is a man who truly was working for the Chinese Communist Party and had the intent of defeating the American aggressor. That's what he called it. So we have some real questions as a committee here. The FBI and the CDC really dropped the ball here in terms of investigating not only this illegal lab, but now we wonder how many more labs like this exist in the country. So clearly we have some work to do to make sure we're prepared, because we know China is doing everything they can to constantly undermine us. And this is just one of the ways they're doing that.
This is terrifying. By the way, we've had 22,000 Chinese citizens that we know of illegally come across our border. And, you know, they can't just leave their country, right? They're clearly here with permission from the country. Are they creating these kinds of labs and sitting here waiting to get orders from the Chinese communist government? What is happening? And why are we treating Xi as a dignitary when he has his citizens here, putting our own citizens in lethal danger?
Right. Well, it's a true slap in the face to Americans. Number one, the Newsom administration and the Biden administration really rolled out the red carpet for President Xi. A genocidal dictator came to town. They cleaned up San Francisco, did a parade that was fitting for a hero's welcome, and then hosted him as a guest of honor at a bougie dinner. Meanwhile, in Reedley, California, we're busting an illegal biolab. So again, our committee is going to be diving into this. We've issued a report specifically on the Reedley lab about the failures from the FBI and the CDC and what needs to happen going forward. But at this point, we do have more questions than answers. They had over 1,000 mice that were designed to transmit COVID. So this administration needs to hold China accountable for its role in spreading COVID around the world. And it's very clear of their intention here, Rachel, which was to do more damage to our country. They want to be the dominant military, economic, socio-superpower by 2049. Again, they continue to try to undermine us, not only by stealing our intellectual property, but by trying to hurt Americans.
I'm just thinking, this was in California just last week. The whole state was blanketed with Chinese flags for Xi's entrance into San Francisco. Do you feel like our government, as this story came to you, do you feel like the government is like getting into action? I mean, I have to believe that Joe Biden knew about this lab when he, greeted Xi last week.
Yes. Well, I think it's very concerning. Clearly, we have moved from strategic competition with China to diplomatic appeasement. When you roll out the red carpet without any accountability for, let's say, not only a biolab, but illegal maneuvers against American military in our territory, in international waters. They opened a Chinese police station in New York City to try to harass Chinese American citizens. They flew a balloon across our country. So all of these things we need accountability for, and we have to start taking China very seriously, not only on what they're saying, but what they're doing here. So I'm asking the Biden administration to be strong, because strength is what dictators and bullies respond to.
Yeah, well, Chinese would never let this happen in their own country, just not showing respect for ourselves. Congresswoman, thank you for joining us. I hope you stay on this story. It's just so important. Thank you.
Thanks, Rachel.
Okay, still ahead.